Okay, so a very good afternoon, everybody. How are you all? Yes, thank you very much. I'm doing good. So, guys, today we are in a fresh topic, chapter number 3, theory of production. Theory of production. Okay, my dear friends, there is a suggestion I have for you all. Sir, what is the suggestion? I told you all, while you study demand, along with demand, complete elasticity of demand, supply and consumer equilibrium, because all of them are quite intermingled and interrelated. Okay? Yes, sir, it's okay. On the other hand, I would like to add one more point. What, sir? Now, the topic that we are studying, production, this is also related to another topic, or I would say chapter, which is called cost. Always, while you are revising for your examination, when you are studying production, make sure you study cost along with it, because both these topics, production and cost, are quite intermingled and interrelated. Both these topics, production and cost, are quite intermingled and interrelated, and hence it becomes absolutely important for you all to focus upon the same. Right? So with all said and done, let's start our topic, theory of production. Okay? So the first question that will obviously come to mind is, sir, what are we studying here? So my dear friends, these are some of the key points that we are going to learn here, study here. Like, sir, first of all, we'll study what is the meaning of the term production. This is as per our curriculum, that is, we have to know. Okay, sir? Great. So meaning of production, about the factors of production we need to know, about production function, then the two important laws. Okay? Then about the two important laws, law of variable proportion and the law of returns to scale. Okay, so all this one at a time we will study. As of now, our focus should be to understand this chapter. And guys, before I start this topic, just a quick suggestion for you all. While we are studying, just focus on the concept that you are studying. Don't ask questions which are quite unrelated to the topic. Okay, focus on this. You can ask questions, but only after you have listened to the topic perfectly. Okay, otherwise what happens is miscommunication might occur. All right, so yes, with all this said and done, let's start our topic of meaning of production. Okay, so sir, what is production? My dear friends, quite often when you ask somebody what is production, in general English they will tell you converting raw material to finished goods. Let's say you have been given some potatoes. So when you are converting that potatoes to potato chips, that's production. As per the masses, as per everybody, that is production. But as per economics, production is a bit more. This is correct. Converting raw materials to finished goods is production. Correct. Absolutely perfect. No problem. But it's way beyond that. Okay. So let's go ahead and try to understand what production is. Okay, you are correct when you are saying converting raw material to finished goods or converting input to output. Very good, but that's just part of the definition. That's not complete definition, sir. Okay, so pay attention, everybody. My dear friends, the definition of production, as you can clearly see in the box in the center, is production is a process of creating utility in goods. So what is production? Process of creating utility in goods. What is production? Process of creating utility in goods. So what is production, guys? Come on, one more time. Process of creating utility in goods. Now for those of you who missed our first class, the first introduction class where I had explained the meaning of utility while we are discussing law of diminishing marginal utility. Okay, but I'll explain the meaning of utility again. Dear friends, utility means want satisfying power of a commodity. Utility basically means want satisfying power of a commodity. So if a commodity is able to satisfy your want, that commodity is said to be possessing utility. If a commodity is able to satisfy your wants, that commodity is said to have possessing utility. If a commodity is able to satisfy your want, that commodity is said to have possessed some utility. So what is utility? Want satisfying power of a commodity. If the commodity is able to satisfy some want, it is called utility. It is called having utility. Like for example, I'll revise it with you. Like let's say I have a digital pen in my hand, but you all are sitting with hard copies, notebooks with you all. This digital pen is of no use to you all, is possessing no utility for you all, because you have to write in a hard copy with which you cannot write using this. But in my case, since I'm working on a digital platform, what I'll have to do is I'll have to use a digital pen. I'll not be able to use your pen that you're using to write on the hard copies. So utility is something that may be existing for one person, may not be existing for another person. Okay, it's just a state of mind. It's just a state of mind. Okay, so now coming back to the point, this we have done. What is production? Process of creating utility. What is production? Process of creating utility. Come on everybody, in the chat write it down. What is production? Process of creating utility in goods. What is production? Process of creating utility in goods. Come on everybody in the chat. Okay, now sir, production creates 4 types of utility. Production creates 4 types of utility. Could you explain it, sir? Yes. Number 1, form utility. Number 2, time utility. Number 3, service utility. And number 4, place utility. So sir, could you go on one by one with each one of this? Yes, I can. Please pay attention. You see, what does form utility talks about? Form utility tells us that conversion of raw material to finished goods. So what is form utility? Conversion of raw material to finished goods. Because you see, if you go and want to buy a packet of chips, and somebody hands you over with some kind of potato and some kind of masalas, it won't serve your purpose. If just they give you some spices and potato in hand, when you need a packet of chips, you'll need a packet of chips. It cannot be that they give you some potatoes and some spices in hand. That's what I'm saying. Somebody is there converting raw material to finished goods. So what kind of utility are they creating? They are creating form utility, which is production. Any kind of utility creation is production. Okay, moving on. Next is time utility. Now my dear friends, please pay attention everyone. Once a product is produced, do you think that it can be sold immediately? Obviously no, sir. If a product is produced, it cannot be sold immediately. There has to be some time lag between the time it is produced and the time it is sold. So what do you need to do within this interval? Yes, correct. You need to store the commodity, and that's what time utility is all about. It's about storage, or the other word for the same would be warehousing, So storage or warehousing creates time utility. So sir, that is also production. Yes. Next, moving on to service utility. Now my dear friends, while you are storing this commodity, in order to sell it, you need to advertise it. Okay, in order to ensure that it is stored safely, you need to have an insurance of the same. In order to receive payments, you need to have banking facilities. Yes, my dear friends, all these services are called service utility. So they are also production. And finally, my dear friends, it's not absolutely necessary that the goods are sold wherever they are produced. No. This pen, let's say for example, just for example's sake, let's say this pen I'm using in Calcutta, for example, but maybe this pen would have been produced in Maharashtra, in Mumbai. It can be. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Place utility. What does place utility talk about? Place utility talks about ensuring that the goods are transported at the to the right person at the right time, at the right place. So it talks about transportation. Come on everybody. So these are the 4 types of utility that we have been discussing. Okay, so let's summarize it, sir. I'll summarize it for you both in English and Hindi. Please pay attention. Point number 1, what is production? My dear friends, production is a process of creating utility in goods. What is production? Process of creating utility in goods. What is production? Process of creating utility in goods. Number 1. Now what types of utility is created? My dear friends, there are 4 types of utility that is created: time, place, possession. Time, place, possession, or you can replace it with service, and form utility. Form utility deals with converting raw material to finished goods. Time utility ensures storage. Place utility ensures transportation. Service utility ensures services like banking, insurance, and so on and so forth. Coming to Hindi, प्रोडक्शन का मतलब होता है यूटिलिटी क्रिएट करना. यूटिलिटी का क्या मतलब होता है सर? कोई भी कमोडिटी अगर आपके किसी वांट को सेटिस्फाई करे तो उसमें यूटिलिटी है. 4 तरीके की यूटिलिटी प्रोडक्शन के अंदर अपन पढ़ते हैं. पहला फॉर्म यूटिलिटी, जहां एक रॉ मटेरियल फिनिश गुड्स में कन्वर्ट करते हैं. जैसे आलू से आप चिप्स बना रहे हैं, प्रोडक्ट चिप्स बनने के बाद तुरंत बिक तो नहीं जाता, तो उसे स्टोर करना पड़ता है. उसे हम लोग कहते हैं टाइम यूटिलिटी. उसे हम कहते हैं टाइम यूटिलिटी. ठीक है. फिर उसके बाद आता है सर्विस यूटिलिटी. अब जब प्रोडक्ट स्टोर्ड है, आपको इसकी निगरानी रखनी पड़ेगी कि ये खराब नहीं हो, इसके साथ कुछ गड़बड़ नहीं हो. तो दोस्तों, इसको स्टोर करने को अपन बोलते हैं इसको स्टोर करते के टाइम अपने इसको क्या करते हैं? इंश्योर करवाते हैं, इंश्योरेंस लेते हैं, अपने एडवर्टाइज करवाते हैं इसको. ये हो गया सर्विस यूटिलिटी. एंड फाइनली अपने जो प्रोडक्ट को ट्रांसफर कर रहे होते हैं, ट्रांसपोर्ट कर रहे होते हैं एक जगह से दूसरी जगह, इसे हम लोग कहते हैं प्लेस यूटिलिटी. कुल मिलाकर ये हो गई प्रोडक्शन की बातें. कुल मिलाकर ये हो गई प्रोडक्शन की बातें. ऑलराइट. सो माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन इज ओवर. नाउ वी विल स्टडी फैक्टर्स ऑफ प्रोडक्शन. नाउ वी विल स्टडी factors of production. Now my dear friends, what are we studying? Sir, we will study factors of production. Sir, what are we studying? Dear friends, we are studying about factors of production. Okay, pay attention everybody. So there are 4 factors of production that my dear friends we are talking about. Okay, what are the 4 factors of production, sir? The shortcut is cell, capital, entrepreneur, land, labor. Capital, entrepreneur, land, labor. But sir, what do you mean by this? What do you mean by this, sir? What is a factor of production? My dear friends, to do any kind of production activity, to do any kind of production activity, you need the help of certain factors. Exactly. So factors of production are nothing but the factors which help in production. Production activity wouldn't have been successful had there been absence of factors of production. And guys, guess what? They are 4. Let's talk about each one. Capital. To try to explain it to you in simple words, capital basically implies 2 things. Money that is kept in your bank to be used for purchasing some raw materials or assets, or the machines that you are already having in the godown, the raw material that you are already having in the godown. All these are referred to capital. Come on, without it you won't be able to do anything. Like for example, for me this pen is a machine, and I am able to produce my services because of this machine. It's capital. Now my dear friends, we talk about land. Pay attention everybody. When we talk about land, guys, try to understand something. If somebody is wanting to provide a service, to produce a commodity, will they do it floating in air? Obviously no. They will need a place to set up their machinery. They will need a place to employ their workers, where the workers will come and work, and therefore you need land. Okay. Similarly, just like you need land, you need people. Like for example, the Ambanis, they are working with Jio. Now if Ambanis are working with Jio, they will obviously need, if Ambanis are working with Jio, my dear friends, they will obviously need a lot of people working for them in order to provide the Jio set-top box, to set up the Jio set-top box. So therefore you need labor. And finally guys, you see this machine, land and labor, they will not come together on their own. There has to be somebody who has to bring everything together. You see, when you plan something with your friends, there is always one of those friends who will do the work of coordinating with everybody. Exactly my point here. Entrepreneur is the person who coordinates with all the factors of production. So remember one very important thing about entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is, by the way, also known as organization. And please remember one thing guys. What one thing, sir? that organization or entrepreneur serves the purpose of coordinator, serves the purpose of coordinator, serves the purpose of coordinator. Please remember it, guys. Please remember it, guys. Okay, sir. Sir, we have understood this. Now, let me ask you one MCQ question and let's see whether you are able to answer the same or not. Let's see what you have studied, okay? So, let me ask you a question here, okay? Okay? See, the question that I'm asking you all is, production creates dash A, raw material to finished goods, B, time utility, C, place utility, D, all. What do you think is the answer, guys? Correct answer. Come on, everybody. Come on, everybody. Come on, everybody. Production creates dash. Come on, everyone. Need your answer. Fatafat. Which option do you choose? Production creates dash. You know, the options are raw material to finished goods, time utility, place utility, or all the above. Come on, everybody. Very good. Great to see so many correct answers. Yes, it's correct. Absolutely everybody has answered it correctly. Wow. Amazing to see. Very good. So the answer is all. It creates time utility, place utility, service utility, as well as form utility. So you are correct, absolutely. Correct, absolutely. Now, my dear friends, we were talking about factors of production. Guys, you tell me one thing. Will anybody work for you for free? Obviously, no. If you are wanting to do a production activity, nobody is going to, my dear friends, work for you for free. So basically, you will need people to work for you, but if you need them to work for you, you need to pay them. This is exactly what we are talking about here. So dear friends, pay attention. For capital, you pay interest. On capital, you pay interest. This is called factor payment because a reward for factor of production it is. Capital, interest, because generally when we take money, we pay interest, and money is a capital. So on capital, we pay interest. For if we take land, we pay rent. If we employ labor, we pay wages. And finally, it's the entrepreneur who brings everything together. It's the entrepreneur who brings everything together. So entrepreneur's factor payment is profit. They do it in the expectations of some profit. In the expectations of some profit. Please remember it, everybody. Very important. The factor payment for capital is interest. For land, it is rent. For labor, it is wages. And for entrepreneur or organizer, it's profit. For entrepreneur or organizer, it's profit. For entrepreneur or organizer, it's profit, everybody. Please remember the same. Please remember the same. Okay, sir, we do remember it. All right, then. If you do remember it, then let's move a little further. Let's move a little further. Okay, see. Now, guys, what are we doing? Sir, we will be discussing about each factor of production in detail. In a little more detail, we will be studying their features. What you need to know is, instead of doing learning, blatantly learning them, you need to understand them, because you see, if you are able to understand them correctly, half of your job is done. Half of your job is done if you are able to understand them correctly. You don't need to do rectification. Okay, so let's pay attention, everybody. Let's pay attention, everybody, and let's discuss the characteristics of land. So number one, characteristics is indeed something which confuses students. Free gift of nature. But you will tell, sir, when we purchase land, we had to pay money. So guys, this is us human beings dealing with each other. Nature has given us land for free, na? That's what they are saying. Free gift of nature. Nature is not charging us anything. It's the human beings that they are charging something from one another. So guys, that's why it's written free gift of nature. Got it? Free gift of nature. It means when human beings came on earth, they found land. It's not that they had to develop land. Like suppose machine you have to develop, labor you have to train, but land was already present there initially. Okay, correct. That's correct, sir. So point number one. Acha, one more interesting question I got from one of the friends. I'll take the name of that friend. Okay, it's Arshdeep. So Arshdeep is saying, sir, you are telling us that on land we have to pay rent. On land we have to pay rent. But what if it's our own? Arshdeep, you are wrong. Why, sir? Even if the land is your own, then you could have earned rent. But because of the fact that you are using it for your own purpose, you have to sacrifice that rent. That's why, my dear friends, we called it as a sacrifice, opportunity cost, and therefore again rent will be there. Okay, sir, it's pretty deep, isn't it? But yes, it is what it is. But yes, it is what it is. All right. Okay, sir. Let's go ahead, sir. So now we are discussing, dear friends, characteristics of land. What are we discussing, dear friends? Characteristics of land we are discussing, dear friends. Pay attention. Number one was free gift of nature. Number two, limited in supply. You must have studied sometime or the other in your life that the total land available on earth is limited. Like 70% of earth is water, something like this. So that's what they are saying, that the land is limited in supply. You cannot give birth to new land. You cannot give birth to new land, randomly. It cannot happen. You can create new machine. The labor you can train more. You can make them more capable. Okay, got it, sir. So here it is. Land is limited in supply. Next point, land differ in variety. Sir, what do you mean by land differ in variety? It basically implies land differing in variety basically implies that land of one kind is different from land of another kind. Like for example, some lands are more fertile, some lands are less fertile. Okay, so here it is, differ in fertility. So till now we have done 3 points. Number one, land is a free gift of nature, because nature is not charging us anything for land. It's us that we are charging one another. So free gift of nature. Total land available on earth is limited. Differ in variety. Some lands are more productive, some are less productive. Some are more fertile, some are less fertile. Some land is flat, some land is steep. So that's what they are saying, differ in variety. Next point, very important point, land is immobile. Immobile means what, sir? Immovable. You cannot move land from one place to another. Let's say there are two friends A and B. Just because they have become good friends, A cannot pick his house and along with the land and bring it near B's house. It cannot happen. Okay, so there it is. The point is immobile or immovable. Immobile or immovable. Next, land is a passive factor of production. Indeed, it is. Why, sir? Why? Why, sir? Because there are two types of factor of production, active and passive. My dear friends, passive factor of production means that it will not work on its own. It will not work on its own. It will not get up and it will start doing its own work. This is not happening, friends. It will not start working on its own. It will not start waking up and start working on. So it's not going to happen, dear friends. Okay, sir. That's what the meaning of passive is. It means that people have to work on land in order to take productivity from land. People have to work on land in order to take productivity from land, and therefore it's passive. That is, it will not act on its own. It will not happen that you buy a land and you leave it for some years. Automatically you see that mangoes and whatever you needed have grown. If you need mango tree there, if you need mangoes there, you need to plant the tree. If you need rice wheat, you have to cultivate that land, put in the seeds, and then you have to see the result. That's what it's saying, passive factor of production. Okay, sir, got it, sir. Next, alternative uses. Yes, a single piece of land can be used as residence. It can be used as a factory. It can be used as a storehouse. What I'm trying to tell is, that it basically implies that it can be used for other uses. And finally, land is indestructible. How can you destroy land? Has it ever happened that there was land on earth at a place and now it's no more? Yes, fertility can be destroyed. Please don't confuse it with fertility. But land to will remain, na? Sir, got it, sir. You cannot make the land disappear. You cannot make the land disappear from the face of the earth. It cannot happen. Okay. So yes, here it is, some of the points. So let's, let's try to revise the same. Okay, I'll do it in English and Hindi both for you all, but pay attention because I'll be a bit fast. Okay, so number one, it's free gift of nature. Nature has given us land. It's limited in supply on earth, differs in variety. Some are more fertile, some are less. It cannot move on its own. It cannot work on its own. Passive means cannot work on its own. Okay, alternative uses, yes, and finally you cannot destroy it. So दोस्तों, लैंड की जो अपने प्रॉपर्टीज पढ़े हैं, पहला ये फ्री है, दूसरा ये इसकी जो मात्रा है, इसकी जो क्वांटिटी है वो लिमिटेड है अर्थ पर, ये खुद से काम नहीं कर सकता, यानी कि ये पैसिव है, इस पर आपको काम करना पड़ेगा तभी आउटपुट देगा। ऐसा नहीं होगा कि खुद से आम का पेड़ लग जाएगा, खुद से कुछ पर्टिकुलर काम हो जाएगा, तो ऐसा नहीं होने वाला। इसके और अलग अलग यूजेस है, आप मशीन लगा सकते हो, आप रह सकते हो लैंड में, तो डिपेंडिंग अपॉन आपको क्या करना है। और इनडिस्ट्रक्टेबल, आप पृथ्वी से लैंड नहीं हटा सकते, ऐसा नहीं होगा किसी दिन की पृथ्वी से लैंड हट गया, ये नहीं हो सकता सर। ओके, सो ये है पॉइंट। पैसिव फैक्टर इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, इट मींस लैंड कैन नॉट वर्क ऑन इट्स ओन। See, a farmer has to plant some seeds, then only rice or wheat grow, na? It cannot happen that rice and wheat is growing on their own. That's what they are saying. My dear friends, the next point is labor. So now we are studying about labor. Sir, what do you mean by labor? Okay, and this is what alternative uses or land differ in variety is also called heterogeneous. Heterogeneous basically means land differing in variety. Okay, so if somebody is asking the meaning of heterogeneous, it basically means differ in variety. All the land are not exactly of same quality, same fertility. No, they are not. Okay, now sir, characteristics of labor. Number one, labor is a human factor. Obviously labor is a human factor, it's no doubt. Next, labor is an active factor, meaning a labor can think on their own. Land could not have thought on its own. Land could not have thought on its own anything, but labor can think on its own. Labor can think on its own, and hence labor is a very active factor, and hence labor is an active factor, and hence labor is an active factor, you know, because it can think on its own, it can act on its own. Okay, so labor is an active factor of production, unlike land. Yes, labor cannot be separated from laborer. Very important point. Now guys, suppose I have a piece of land. Pay attention everybody. Suppose I am the owner of that land. Now if you buy that land from me, then you have separated land from the laborer. So now I can leave to some other city. You will not care. You will not care. But pay attention everybody. But pay attention everybody. What, sir? But let's say I am a labor. Right now I am providing you service. I am teaching you. Okay. So if I am teaching you, it is my labor. And I am the laborer who is doing that work. Now guys, try and understand. If I would, when I had sold you a piece of land, then even if I was absent, I was not present in your country, it would not affect you. But let's say in the middle of this class, I get up and walk away. I get up and walk away. Come on everybody. Is it possible for me to provide the service then? Obviously not. Similarly, if you go for a haircut, the barber walks away. Will you be able to get that service? No. That's what they are saying. That service cannot be separated from service provider. Labor cannot be separated from labor. Next is labor is perishable. Perishable means the utility of it keeps on rising again and again. For example, just because once you had a haircut, it doesn't mean that forever you don't need to take a haircut. See, once you buy a piece of land, maybe if you are happy with it, you will never need to buy a piece of land. So it's durable, it's long term. But if you have hired a labor, you know, to let's say do a haircut of yours, once that haircut is done, does it mean that in the near future you will not need it again? When I'm teaching you here, you know it's perishable because next day you will need to know something more. It cannot happen that I've taught you something and it is for your entire lifetime. No, it needs to keep growing. That's what it's saying. Yes, laborer sell his labor, not himself. Yes. Just because, you know, I have hired the services of a, you know, let's say barber for haircut, it doesn't mean I own the barber. I own the services provided at that barber, provided by that barber, which is haircut. Got it, sir. Labor differ in efficiency. What does it mean, sir? What does it mean? Labor differs in efficiency. Basically, just like land. Land differs in productivity, labor differs in efficiency. For example, some people are more efficient than others. That's what they're telling. Again, a point of difference between land and labor. Labor is mobile. You cannot take a piece of land from India and shift it to USA. You cannot just pick it up. But you know, a person, a labor who is educated in India or who has been living in India can easily go to USA and do the job. So they are mobile. That is movable. Labor is movable. They can move from one place to another. Now guys, generally it's considered that labor has weak bargaining power. Why, sir? Because in general labor markets, I am telling, you know, in general labor markets where you have workers working in factories now, a lot of population is there. So lot of supply of labor is available. Since a lot of supply of labor is available, so what happens is that the employers know that even if Mr. A is not working, Mr. B will apply for job, because there is so much dearth and so much requirement of jobs. That's what they are saying. Weak bargaining power. More wages, less work. Yes, it has been a complaint since Industrial Revolution, that is since 1900s, that workers are made to do more work, but they are, paid less. It was during the Industrial Revolution, but now times are changing. Workers are demanding more wages and rightful wages for the work that they are performing. It is all that we are studying. One of the friends is asking the difference between durable and perishable. It's Nittal. So durable means something that lasts long term, like land. Perishable means which we have consumed and we will need it again, like labors, service. Like tomato, you cannot keep a piece of tomato forever in your house for use, but you can keep your house forever. So house is durable, long term lasting, but tomato is perishable. Okay, so for those who wanted to know the difference. Okay, yes, one of the friends is telling, sir, bullock is plowing the land, so labor can be animal too. The work done by that bullock can be called a labor, definitely yes. But one more thing you need to remember, some person is working on that bullock, helping them to graze the field or do whatever they are doing on the field for the agricultural productivity. That's what I am saying. That person is the labor also. Okay, yes sir. So dear friends, moving on. Let's pay attention, everybody. Okay. And yes, do you think labor is limited? No. Labor supply can be increased. How? Because number one, population is increasing, but labor supply is not about increasing the population. Whatever population is there on earth, you can teach them. You can give them new skills. As and when you are giving them new skills, you are making a better labor. Okay. That's what they are saying. And now, you know, guys, one interesting thing about labor I'll tell you. Do you know labor have a backward bending supply curve? What does it mean, sir? I'll show it to you. Labor has a backward bending supply curve. I'll show it to you. Pay attention, everybody. You see here. This is a backward bending supply curve. So what supply curve does labor have? Backward bending supply curve. Everybody write down in your chat and in your copies. Labor has a backward bending supply curve. Backward bending supply curve. I will explain why. Don't worry. But first of all, do the rectification. Learn it. Then I'll explain what is going on here. Okay. So now let's pay attention. You see, this is supply of labor. This is wages of labor. Now guys, as wages are increasing, suppose initially the worker were working 2 hours at 500 per hour. Then I tell the workers that if you work for 2000, you work for 7 hours, I'll give you 2000 per hour. This increase their supply. I further tell them that if you work for me for 9 hours a day, I'll give you 3000 per hour. If you work for me 12 hours a day, I'll give you 3500 per hour. So you see, with the rise in prices, the labor supply is rising. So till now the graph is like this. But my dear friends, what happens is, at a certain time, the labor is happy with whatever money they have. Now they need to have good family time. They need to rest. They need to play. And therefore, even if you offer them 5,000 per hour now for working 14 hours a week, you will instead find that they have reduced the supply, because now they are after working so hard for so long, now they have shifted their mentality to resting, and therefore the labor supply is falling. And that's why the backward bending supply curve, because now the labor is preferring leisure. Leisure means fun more than any other thing. Leisure means rest more than any other thing the labor is preferring now. Okay. Got it, sir. Now, my dear friends, we'll talk about characteristics of capital. So pay attention, everybody, because it's capital that we are talking about. Because of capital we are talking about. Pay attention. Number one, capital is a man-made factor. Yes. If there is a machine that you see in a factory, it has been made by some people. So man-made factor. It's mobile. Some, not all, but most of the machines can move from one place to another. Yes, depreciates. Meaning its value doesn't remain the same throughout. Its value depreciates. What does it mean, sir? Suppose you guys, I am asking you a question, everybody has to answer. Pay attention, everybody. Suppose in the year 2019, I purchased a machinery of 5 lakh. I used it for another 2 to 3 years. Maybe 2020, 21, 22. I used it for another 2 to 3 years, maybe 1, 2, 3 and stuff. Now guys, my question is very simple for you all. Is this 5 lakh value of labor, or I mean machine, the same, or the value of machine will fall? What do you think? Will the machine be worth 5 lakh even after 3 to 4 years, or it will be of lesser value? What do you think, guys? Come on, everybody, answer the question. Come on, everybody, answer the question. Very, very good. Its value will be less. That's why, because it depreciates. Value of a machine reduces with time. Value of a machine reduces with time. Value of a machine reduces with time. In fact, most of the things that you purchase, its value reduces with time. So there it is. Moving on. Capital is a passive factor of production. What do you mean by passive factor, sir? Basically, it cannot operate on own. Cannot operate on own. It cannot operate on own. Capital cannot operate on own. A machine will not, work on its own. You need to hire a labor or an entrepreneur to work on the machine. Sir, this is just like land. In the land part also you said the same thing, sir. Yes, you are absolutely correct, friends. Absolutely correct, friends. Very good. Okay. So my dear friends, we have had a very good discussion on land, labor and capital. Okay. Before I talk about anything else, first I'll want to solve with you an MCQ question before I move to entrepreneur. Okay. So pay attention, everybody. Labor is dash factor of production. Capital is dash factor of production. Option A, active active, passive active, passive passive, D, active passive. What do you think is the answer, guys? Come on, everybody. Waiting. We'll talk about a lot of things, but first of all, answer me this question. First, answer me this question. Okay. So you are absolutely correct in saying that, sir, labor is an active factor of production while capital is a passive factor of production, as it cannot work on its own. So option D is correct. AP is correct. Active passive, correct. Now my dear friends, types of capital we are discussing. Now my dear friends, types of capital we are discussing. So pay attention, my lovely friends. Pay attention, my lovely friends. Okay? Yes, sir. Types of capital. My dear friends, human capital. When we talk about human capital, it basically means the skills and abilities of a company, employees. So basically, if you are hiring employees in your organization, the skills and abilities of the employees that you are hiring is called human capital, full stop. Okay, so human capital refers to what? Skills and abilities of the people. Human capital refers to what? Skills and abilities of the people. Sir, human capital refers to what? Skills and abilities of the people. Skills and abilities of the people. Got it, sir. Got it, sir. Moving further on, sir. Moving further on. Human capital refers to skill and abilities of a person. Now, real capital or economic capital. You know, the money that you have, you are utilizing definitely to buy some assets, like to buy some machinery, okay, to buy some raw materials, etc. So my dear friends, that's called real capital. It is basically the physical goods, the ones that you can see and touch, that is tangible, the ones that are tangible, the ones that are tangible. Okay, so here it is. Real capital refers to the assets, the machinery and the raw material basically, which can be touched by you. Moving on. Human capital. Next is fixed capital. My dear friends, when you are buying an asset, let's say like a machine, you have a period of, let's say, 5 years, 10 years in mind for which you are buying. Exactly, that's fixed capital. Money, capital, money put into the assets which have long lasting period. That's fixed capital. That's fixed capital. That is of a durable nature. Durable nature means basically long lasting in nature. Durable means long lasting in nature, my dear friends. The ones that are long lasting in nature, my dear friends. Okay, sir, we got it, sir. Okay, sir, we got it, sir. Now moving on. Sir, circulating capital. Please pay attention. Circulating capital also refers to revolving capital, working capital. Okay, sir, what does it mean? I'll give you. These are basically single use capital. Sir, what does it mean? I'll tell you. Suppose you buy some raw material from the factory. This raw material you convert to finished goods. This finished goods you sell and you get debtors who will pay you. The debtors pay you cash and you use this cash to again buy some more raw materials. So you see, money is constantly changing hands. Okay, and you are getting back the raw material. Not the original one, but again you are buying some. That's why it's called revolving capital, because it keeps on circulating in the business. It keeps on circulating in the business. It keeps circulating between the business. Okay, some of the friends are asking, sir, real and fixed same? No, fixed capital is a very small part of real capital, because what did I tell you? Even raw material is a real capital. If you bought a machine and a potato, machine and potato both are real capital, but potato is not a fixed capital. You cannot store it for long. Machine is a fixed capital. So can we say, sir, fixed capital is a small part of real capital? Yes, you can say that. You have got to say that. Moving on. So guys, now I'll come to a topic that's called capital formation. Okay, before that, social capital. Social capital is basically anything that the society owns. Bridges, parks, etc. Whatever is owned by the society is social capital. Whatever is owned by the society is social capital. Full stop. Okay, sir, we got it, sir. We got it, sir. Now moving on, friends. We'll come to a topic called capital formation. We'll come to a topic called capital formation. Sir, can you please explain what is capital formation? Definitely I can. Please pay attention, everybody. Please pay attention, everybody. Pay attention, everybody. You see, guys, first of all, I'll give you a simple word, and then I'll elaborate on the same. Okay, capital formation simply means investment. Capital formation simply means investment. Come on everybody, what does capital formation simply mean? Investment. To explain it very simply, what does capital formation mean? Investment. Come on everybody in the chat, what does capital formation mean? Investment. Come on everybody in the chat, need it now, need your answer right away. Come on everybody. Okay, so if they're asking what is the meaning of capital formation, you need to remember investment. I will explain it further, don't worry. But first of all, what is capital formation? Investment. Okay. So now my dear friends, the fact that you have got it, now let me explain further. Now let me explain you further. Okay, see, pay attention. My dear friends, there are two types of goods in the economy. Okay, number one is called capital goods and number two is called consumer goods. Sir, could you explain a bit? Yes, I would definitely explain a bit. Please pay attention. Capital goods basically implies machinery. Capital goods basically implies machinery. Capital goods basically implies machinery. Any kind of equipment. All these are capital goods. Okay, the ones that are durable and the purpose of which is to use it for longer term basically. But my dear friends, consumer goods are like a packet of chips maybe, etc. So my dear friends, what I am trying to tell you all is, if the money has been spent by the business to purchase capital goods, that is called capital formation. That is called capital formation or investment. So please remember, capital formation or investment does not mean the increase in stock of consumer goods. No, it means the increase in stock of capital goods. Okay, so sir, whenever we talk about somebody doing an investment, it means they are increasing the stock of capital goods in the organization, not consumer goods. They are increasing the stock of capital goods in the organization, not consumer goods, my lovely friends. Okay, correct. So capital goods are basically the ones like machinery, equipment, etc. Okay, which are purchased to generate future income. Number one. Consumer goods are the ones which are used for consumption, as the name suggests. Please remember, if money has been put to buy capital goods, only then it will be considered as capital formation or investment. Otherwise it will not be. So please tell me, guys, please tell me, what is capital goods? Increase. What is in capital formation? Increase in stock of capital goods. Increase in stock of capital goods, not consumer goods, capital goods. What is investment or what is capital formation? Increase in stock of capital goods. Everybody in the chat, write down right now. Come on everyone. Okay, great. Yes, Varda, you are correct. Now pay attention everybody. There are three stages to capital formation that I need you all to know. Please pay attention. The three stages of capital formation that I need you friends to have knowledge of. Okay, so please pay attention. Okay, there are some miscellaneous topics also, don't worry guys, we will cover them, but today my purpose is to give you the most important of the topics. Covering we will do all, but today I'm teaching you the most important topics. Okay, till now we have been consistently doing every topic. Okay, so pay attention. Stages of capital formation. Pay attention everybody. My dear friend, basically capital formation involves three stages. Sir, what are those three stages? You see, I'll show you. These are banks. This is the normal public. And these are the businesses or firms. Okay. So my dear friend, there are three stages of capital formation. Number one is what? So first of all, people like you and me, common people like you and me, we will do our savings. We will do our savings. Once we have done our savings, we will put our savings into the bank account. We will put our savings into the bank account. That is called mobilization of savings. Mobilization means इकट्ठा करना, collect करना. Mobilization of savings. And the third is business banks give loan to firms, and what do firms do with it? Firms do the investment of the same. They use it to buy some machinery or to set up new plant and everything. Okay, so these are the three stages of capital formation. Public saves, their savings are mobilized into productive investments. Point number 3. These are the three stages of capital formation, everybody. The three stages of capital formation have been told to you all. The three stages of capital formation has been told to you all. So now, my dear friends, before I discuss anything any further, what I need you all to, learn or basically have knowledge of is some MCQs. So let me ask you some questions before I am able to, push on to some other concept or something like that. Okay? Pay attention, everybody. My question, MCQ question, everybody. Come on, everyone. MCQ question is waiting for you all. Pay attention, everybody. The question is very simple. Is which of the following pair of factors of production is passive in nature? A. Land labor. B. Capital land. C. Labor entrepreneur. D. None of above. What do you think is the correct answer, dear lovely friends? Come on, everybody, need your answer. Very good, Yumanshi. Okay, Isha, good answer. Okay. So see, pay attention. You all are correct. If you're saying it's capital and land, that's the answer. Absolutely bang on correct. Absolutely bang on correct, you all are. Absolutely correct. Land and capital, not labor. It's land and capital, because both of them cannot work on their own. You need people to work for them, work for you. So there it is. Okay, there it is. So sir, we have been able to understand this concept of types of capital and capital formation. Now, my dear friends, we will study the key functions of entrepreneur. In reality, my dear friends, entrepreneur does a lot of things, but at the end of the day, there is so much that we can discuss. Okay, so the first key point that an entrepreneur does, without which production could not have taken place, is they ensure resource coordination. Basically, they bring capital, labor and land together. 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 Otherwise, production wouldn't have taken place, you see. So there it is, resource coordination. Number 2, risk bearing. Obviously, see, when you are starting a new venture, no matter how talented you are, there is always a risk of not being able to, do up to the mark, or of incurring losses. Every entrepreneur has some day or the other faced losses, not some, plenty of losses. So there it is, risk bearing. And finally, my dear friends, I am talking about innovation. Sir, what does innovation imply? Innovation means finding new solution to the problems, or creating new products. Okay guys, how many of you want to hear a story of innovation? Come on, everybody. How many of you want to hear the story of an entrepreneur's innovation? Come on, everybody, let's see. Okay, so I'll tell you a story. Please listen to it carefully. Okay, so my dear friends, It's the time of late 1900s, okay? It's the time of late 1900s. Okay, pay attention everybody. What happened was, in USA, a lot of people, a lot of youth was having problem related to drugs. You know, when such kind of problems started happening, there has to be some kind of medicine. So there was this medicine that one of the chemists had developed. This was prescribed by the doctors, obviously. What was contained in this medicine? What was contained in this medicine? Pay attention everybody. In this medicine, small amount of cocaine, a drug was put. Why? Because people who have the habit of drug addiction, if you take away entire drugs from them at once, there will be a lot of issue. So in USA, what the doctors used to do was, they used to prescribe that medicine, which had very little amount of drug in it, cocaine in it. So gradually what happened was, one of the persons who did not have any problem just wanted to taste this medicine. They tasted it, and what happened was, people who were not suffering from any problem started coming to the chemist shop as if they are buying a cotton candy or a chocolate. People loved that medicine so much. Now there was this person, Asa Candler, who asked this chemist to sell this drug. Asa Candler went to this chemist and told them that sell me the recipe. You stop manufacturing this, sell me the recipe of this drug, this medicine. So the chemist did sell it. And guess what, guys? What did Asa Candler do with this medicine? He or she decided to remove the cocaine from it. Keep everything intact, just the cocaine from it. And yes, my dear friends, that drink was later on named as Coca-Cola. Think about the innovation they are doing. This is the story of Coca-Cola. Think about the kind of innovation they are doing. That's what I'm saying. Entrepreneurs are responsible for innovation, always solving problems. You know, this is one of those stories which I thought you must, know. So just I shared, okay? All right, sir. Okay. Okay, great. So now moving on. So this is what basically the entrepreneur does or is expected to do. Resource coordination, risk bearing and innovation. Resource coordination, risk bearing and innovation. Okay. Now my dear friends, please pay attention. Each entrepreneur or enterprise has some objectives. Each enterprise or entrepreneur has some objectives. So I'll tell you these objectives. Pay attention everybody. Pay attention everybody. Pay attention everyone. Pay attention everyone. So these objectives of the entrepreneur or the enterprise, I can divide it into some parts. Okay? Pay attention everyone. All right? Number one, organic objective of entrepreneur. Yes, we are discussing the objectives of enterprise, of business, a firm. What are its objectives? What are its objectives? What are its objectives? What are its objectives? Okay, so pay attention. Number one, organic. Number two, economic. Number three, social. Number four, human objectives. And number five, national objectives. Guys, you need to understand it. All the five objectives crystal clear way. You need to understand all this. You need to understand each one of those. Please pay attention everybody. Please pay attention everybody. Okay. So what is organic objective? What is organic objective? Basically, my dear friend, organic objective means survival. So number one objective of any business organization is to be able to survive in the market, because in this world of cutthroat competition, a mere survival is a tough thing. Mere survival is a tough thing to be done. Yes. So number one is survival. Organic point one is survival. Key point here is, key focus here is survival, friends. Okay. Guys, once you have taken care of survival, number 2 is economic objective. That is earning profits. Obviously, no enterprise can survive without earning profits. Third objective of any enterprise is to serve the society. How? By providing quality goods at affordable rates. 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 Okay, sir. So these are the social. Now, what is the human objective of an enterprise? To generate employment, to do well for the employees, to generate employment in the society, to improve the standard of living of people by providing them variety of goods and services. Standard of living. And the last objective is national development. You know, all the firms, the providing the services, by providing the services and by providing the taxes, they are helping in national development. And so fifth point is national objectives. These are the major objectives, guys. Okay. Yes. Okay, great. Moving on. So now the fact that you have understood it, guys, can we move on? Come on, everybody, to the next head, which is called production function. Can we call it production function? Yes, an enterprise has several problems. We are going to discuss that. But now the objective is to shift to one more important topic and then we'll get back to it. So guys, now the very important parts are starting. What we have done till now was important, but now what we are going to do is way more important. So pay attention, everybody. I am starting the difference. Okay, I'm starting the discussion. All right, sir. So let's go ahead, sir. One of the friend is asking affordable. Affordable means at lower cost. कम खर्चे में आपको प्रोडक्ट मिल सके. You know, at lower cost you are able to buy the product. This is what organizations seek to achieve. Okay, so pay attention, everybody. Now let's talk about production function, everybody. Pay attention, very important. Now please focus, and if you keep on asking, doubts which are irrelevant, my dear friends, you will miss a very important point. Okay, yes sir. And then we will obviously practice a lot of MCQs. Will be practiced, but pay attention, everybody. We are starting. Okay, pay attention, everybody. We are starting. Okay, so please pay attention, everyone. Production function. My dear friends, I am writing a simple maths equation. Let's say y equals to 2x plus 3. Now guys, pay attention, everyone. In order to find out the value of y, you need to put in the value of x. For example, if you put x equals to 1, you will get to know that y equals to 5. 2 into 1 plus 3. If you put x equals to 2, you will get y equals to 7. But sir, why have you suddenly started teaching maths? No. I am teaching you eco only. So see guys, can I say that y is the dependent variable, x is the independent variable? Because after all, y is depending upon x to arrive at its value. Similarly, x is not dependent on anything. It has its own value. Can we say this or not? Come on, everyone. Can we say y is dependent on x for its value? Yes, sir. So this can also be stated like y is a function of x, indicating y is dependent on x. The value of y is dependent on x. Y is a function of x, meaning y is dependent on x. Y is a function of x, meaning y's value is dependent on x's value. Is it crystal clear, everybody? Yes, sir, it's pretty clear. Yes, sir, it's pretty clear. So here I attack now. Pay attention, everybody. Similarly, guys, when we are doing a production activity, the quantity produced by an organization is also dependent upon labor and capital or many other inputs. Not only labor and capital. This is just for example. I am saying labor and capital. Don't be worried. Pay attention, everyone. So my dear friends, the quantity of output produced is dependent upon the labor and capital. Okay. So pay attention everybody. To arrive at the quantity produced, it depends on the labor and capital in the organization. So if there is no labor, capital, or basically other inputs, if it's not available, if other inputs are not available, if other inputs are not available, if other inputs are not available, my dear friends, then can you find out the output? Definitely not. Exactly. So the relation between input and output is called production function. This dependence relation between input and output is called production function. Okay, so this relation between input and output is known as production function. Is it clear everybody? Come on everyone. So write down in the chat. What is production function? Relation between input and output. What is production function? Relation between input and output. What is production function? Relation between input and output. इनपुट और आउटपुट के बीच का जो रिलेशन है उसे हम लोग प्रोडक्शन फंक्शन कहते हैं. कम ऑन एवरीबॉडी, व्हाट इज प्रोडक्शन फंक्शन? रिलेशन बिटवीन इनपुट एंड आउटपुट. ओके सर. सो क्या है प्रोडक्शन फंक्शन? इनपुट और आउटपुट के बीच का रिलेशन. फॉर दोज हु हैव नॉट अंडरस्टूड दिस मैथ्स एग्जांपल ना, यू कैन फॉरगेट इट. व्हाट यू कैन जस्ट सिंपली अंडरस्टैंड इज एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ने कितना क्वांटिटी प्रोड्यूस किया, वो इस बात पर निर्भर करता है कि कितने लेबर, कितने कैपिटल, कितने रॉ मटेरियल्स अवेलेबल थे. तो ये जो रिलेशन है इनपुट और आउटपुट के बीच में, इसको प्रोडक्शन फंक्शन बोलते हैं. फुल स्टॉप. इज इट क्रिस्टल क्लियर एवरीबॉडी? ओके ओके, करेक्ट, वेरी गुड एवरीबॉडी. सो वेरी गुड राहुल, वेरी गुड परनीता, वेरी गुड नवनीत, बिभू वेरी गुड, मोहम्मद जुबेर गुड, खुशबू गुड, मानस गुड, ओके, कमल गुड, ईशान गुड. So very good friends. The fact that you have understood this, very good Siddhi. Now let's move on. Let's move on friends. Let's move on friends. That's production function. Now dear friends, did you remember that I have told you the concept of short run and long run while discussing supply? Do you remember it or not? And in that chapter I have told you that we will use it in production and cost. You see here we are. You see here we are. You see here we are discussing the same. So sir, could you tell us please? Yes, I'll tell you. Come on everybody, pay attention. Come on everybody, pay attention. Okay sir, we are listening. Go ahead sir. So see, my dear friends, short run in production again refers to a time period where some inputs are variable while some inputs are fixed. So there is variable factor, like for example labor. Labor is variable. Labor is variable. Labor is variable. But machine is fixed. Machine is fixed. So there are some variable factors and then there are some fixed factors friends. Variable is like labor. You employ more labor to a given quantity of machine. That's short run period. Dear friends, now the question arises is, what is long run? Dear friends, the question arises is, what is long run? When my dear friends, all the factors of production are variable, because you have so much time to buy new machines and stuff, so even machine has become variable, which used to be fixed in the short run period. देखिए शॉर्ट रन में आपका वो समय है, शॉर्ट रन वो समय सीमा है जिसके अंतर्गत, जिसके दरमियान आप केवल कुछ मशीन ही रख सकते हो. आप बढ़ा नहीं सकते मशीन को, बट जो वर्कर्स है उसको आप कंसिस्टेंटली बढ़ा सकते हो. मशीन को आप कांस्टेंट रखोगे बट वर्कर्स को आप कांस्टेंटली बढ़ा सकते हो. लॉन्ग रन एक ऐसा समय सीमा है दोस्तों जहां पर आप मशीन को भी बढ़ा सकते हो, वर्कर्स को भी बढ़ा सकते हो. क्लियर है? सो मेरे दोस्तों, इसका अर्थ क्या हुआ कि शॉर्ट रन में जो आउटपुट आप प्रोड्यूस कर रहे हो, द आउटपुट दैट यू आर प्रोड्यूसिंग इन द शॉर्ट रन कैन बी इंक्रीज्ड ओनली टू सम एक्सटेंट. Only to some extent output can be increased, and in long run output can be increased by any extent. This is exactly what I have told you in the particular chapter as well. In that particular chapter as well. In very short run, so no change. In short run, some inputs are fixed, some are variable. Come on everybody, write down in the chat. Okay, let me ask you an MCQ question. Come on everyone. This is an oral question. Write down your answers in the chat. No option will be given. So this is the quiz question everybody. Quiz question everybody. What is the quiz question, sir? That in long run, inputs are, you have 4 options guys, listen it. Number 1, in the long run, all the inputs are fixed. Number 2, All the inputs are variable. Number 3, some are fixed, some are variable. Number 4, nobody is variable. So what do you think is the correct answer? Sir, please repeat. In the long run, all the inputs are option 1 fixed, option 2 variable, option 3 fixed plus variable, option D not variable. Come on everybody, your answers please. Come on everybody, your answers please. Quiz has started already. Come on everyone. Yes, great. So it's indeed great. Very good. So first question, everybody has won the game. Kanishk, Sakaldeep, Harsh, everybody is correct. Mohammad Bartullah, very good. Viresh, good answer. Kirti, good answer, friend. So here it is. This was question 1. Come on everybody, let's see whether you can fight question number 2 or not. Question number 2, let's fight. In the short run, production can be increased. Options, listen to me very carefully. Number 1, only to a limited extent. Number 2, by any extent. Number 3, cannot say. Number 4, all the above. 4 option. In the short run, production can be increased. Option 1, only by some extent. Option 2, by any extent. Option 3, can't say. Option 4, all the above. Your answers please everybody. Very good. So Himanshu, our dear friend, is first one to answer, followed by Gunshita, very good. Shrey, good answer. Abdul, good answer. So yes, it can be increased only to a limited extent in the short run. It can be increased by only a limited extent in the short run. So the answer is limited extent. Guys, next question. Which of the factor of production is a innovator? Land, labor, capital, entrepreneur. Which one of them is an innovator and a risk taker? Which factor of production? Come on everybody. Which factor of production is an innovator and a risk taker? Very good. Sivasri, Yumanshi, Himanshu, good. Nazila, good. Shalini, good. So my dear friends, it's the entrepreneur who takes risk. You know, the businessman takes a risk, right? So that's what they are trying to say. Moving on to the next question again, guys. If we are in a time period, suppose guys, come on everybody, pay attention. If we are in a time period where all the factors of production are variable, which time period are we in? Is it short run? Is it long run? Is it very long run? Or is it very short run? What say? Option A, short run. Option B, long run. Option 3, very short. Option D, very long run. What do you think is the answer? Absolutely, Varda, correct answer. Followed by Ritika, followed by Nazila, followed by Priya, Siddhi, very good. Arjdeep, correct. So yes, it's absolutely correct. Long run, if production can be increased to any extent, it's the long run that we are looking at. Okay. Now guys, one important thing. Now we will study. So here is the quiz. So guys, in this quiz, I have asked 4 questions. How many of you have scored 4 out of 4? Come on everybody. How many of you have scored 4 out of 4? Let's see. How many of you have scored 4 out of 4? Very long run is a time period where the market dynamics change. Here the answer will be long run, not very long run. Okay, come on. How many of you have scored 4 out of 4? Come on everybody, let's see it. Okay. Great. Okay. So Manash has scored full. Bibu has scored full. Very good. Okay. Manas has scored full. Very good. Rahul has scored full. Okay. So now let's pay attention everybody. The fact that you've been able to score full is great. Now let's pay attention everybody. My dear friends, now we are studying laws of production. So my dear friends, there are two aspects related to this. Please pay attention. There are two aspects related to this. Okay, there are two aspects related to this. Before I tell the two aspects, please remember, if you are in short run, the law that you will study is law of variable proportion. The law you will study is law of variable proportions. The law you will study is law of variable proportion. But dear friends, if you are in long run, the law that you will study is law of returns to scale. 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 So my dear friends, if we are in short run, we are talking about law of variable proportion. If we are in long run, we are talking about law of returns to scale. Very good. So again, in short run, okay, another MCQ question. What law? I will not give you an option. What law is followed in the case of short run? Come on, everybody. What law is followed in the case of short run? Come on, everybody, need to see your answers. Okay. Okay. Yes, Madhu. Okay. So now pay attention, everybody. Now pay attention, everybody. So the fact that you have understood everything, now let's pay attention, everybody. It's the law of variable proportion in the short run. In the long run, it will be law of returns to scale. In the short run, it is law of variable proportion. In the long run, it is law of returns to scale. Short run, law of variable proportion. Long run, law of returns to scale. Short run, law of variable proportion. Long run, law of returns to scale. Short run, law of variable proportion. Long run, law of returns to scale. Short run, variable proportion. Long run, returns to scale. Correct. Very good. Okay, now pay attention, everybody. My dear friends, before I start teaching you the two laws, that is the law of variable proportion and the law of returns to scale, both of which we will study, definitely, don't worry. First of all, our institute asks us to study Cobb-Douglas production function, okay? Cobb-Douglas production function. First we will study this and then we will study further on okay? So pay attention. So what is Cobb-Douglas production function? Again, just like any production function, the formula, this is from USA, okay? So this formula is originated from USA. So Cobb-Douglas production function has originated from USA. Just like any other production function we have studied, it shows the relation between input and output. It shows the relationship between input and output. It shows the relation between input and output. What did Cobb-Douglas observe? Pay attention. That quantity produced is equals to KLA, then C to the power B. Basically, L refers to labor. L refers to what, sir? Labor. L refers to what? Labor. L refers to labor. Okay. B refers to what, sir? B refers to what, sir? Pay attention, everybody. L refers to labor and C refers to capital. That is the two types of factors, labor and capital. Then, sir, what is K? K is basically a constant, simple constant. K is basically a simple constant. Similarly, alpha and beta are constants, okay? Just powers, constants, okay? See, equation tells us that output depends directly on labor and capital, and that part of output which cannot be explained by labor and capital is explained by K. So, first of all, it is the labor and capital which help in producing output. So, the part of labor and capital which is helpful in producing output is this extent, okay? This extent. Then, sir, what is the need for K? But there is some part of output which cannot be explained by labor and capital. Maybe there is some other reason behind that output, like for example, good climatic conditions. So there can be so many other factors. So instead of covering the other inputs and other factors, Cobb-Douglas chose K as a constant. K as a constant. Sir, what do we need to remember? You need to remember is that they observe that whenever manufacturing is taking place or whenever output is taking place, na, you will be surprised to know, guys, but Cup Douglas observed that 1/4 was the contribution of capital towards the increase in output. 1/4 was contribution of capital and 3/4 was the contribution of labor. 1/4 was the contribution of machines, that is capital, and 3/4 was the contribution of labor. Sir, it is very interesting then. Yes, it is. So as see, now you don't need to get complicated. Please pay attention, everybody. Please pay attention, everybody. Okay. What is Cup Douglas production function? Pay attention. Cup Douglas production function tells us the relationship between input and output. Cup Douglas production function tells us the relationship between input and output. Okay, it tells us the relation between input and output. Cup Douglas production function tells us the relation between input and output. Come on, Cup Douglas tells us the relationship between input and output. As per them, quantity of output depends upon capital and labor on one hand, capital and labor on one hand, number one, and number two, some part of output cannot be explained. That is, output was generated, but the credit doesn't go to capital or labor. It goes to some other factor. So they named it K. So this became the formula. For them, the value of A, that is the power of labor A, was 3/4 and contribution of capital was 1/4. Labor 3/4, capital 1/4. Labor 3/4, capital 1/4. Labor 3/4, capital 1/4. So my dear friends, let me ask you another quiz question, another MCQ question before I proceed any further. Before I proceed any further, you see, pay attention everybody. A very important MCQ question. Cup Douglas production function originated from which country? I gave you the answer. Let's see who of you remember this. Originated from which country? Come on everybody. Yes, very good. Most of you are giving correct answer. The correct answer is United States of America, USA. This logic came from USA. Number one. Number two, in the total contribution towards output, come on everybody, answer me this question. In the total contribution towards this output, guys, I need you all to tell me something. In the total contribution towards output, what was the contribution of labor? Options are 3/4. Contribution of labor I am asking. Option 1, 3/4. Option 2, 1/4. Option 3, half. Option D, 0. 3/4, 1/4, half, 0. 3/4, 1/4, half, 0. 3/4, 1/4, half, 0. What is the correct answer here? Come on everybody. What was the contribution of labor? Okay, great. So 3/4 is the correct answer. 3/4 is the correct answer. You people have understood it very well. Okay, one more question, one more follow-up question. What was the contribution of capital? You all write it down. I will not write it down. Yes. So the correct answer is labor was 3/4. Labor was 3/4. How much was contribution of capital? Come on everybody. How much was contribution of capital? Come on everybody. Correct. Very good, Shivasri. It's 1/4. The answer is 1/4. The answer is 1/4. The answer is 1/4. The answer is 1/4. You all are absolutely correct. The answer is 1/4. So now the fact that you have understood this, my lovely friends, let's take this forward. Okay, let's take this forward. Friends, did I not tell you that in short run, the law that operates is law of variable proportion. In the short run, the law that operates is law of variable proportion. Friends, in the short run, the law that operates is law of variable proportion. In the short run, the law that operates is law of variable proportion. In the long run, the law that operates is law of returns to scale. In the long run, the law that operates is law of returns to scale. So friends, in the short run, the law that operates is law of variable proportion. In the long run, law of returns to scale. Yes, Lakshita. Yes, Madhu. So pay attention, everybody. In the short run, law of variable proportion applies. In the long run, law of return to scale applies. Okay, so now let's go ahead. Now I am explaining law of variable proportion. Come on everybody, law of variable proportion operates in the short run only. Law of variable proportion operates in the short run only. Law of variable proportion operates in the short run only. Don't ask me questions relating to long run now, because now we are talking only about short run, friends. Otherwise there will be a lot of confusion and you will not understand this topic. So what are we studying? We are studying law of variable proportion. So my question to you all is, to which time period does law of variable proportion apply? Come on, answer it in your chat. Law of variable proportion applies to which time period? Law of variable proportion applies to which time period? Law of variable proportion applies to which time period? Come on everybody, in the chat right away. Attack. Very good. So yes, it's the short run. It's the short run. It's very important. Now guys, to explain you the law of variable proportion, I am taking some other example. Okay, I am taking some other example. Okay, before I take another example, pay attention. Now don't type anything, just listen carefully with your minds open, with your brains open. I'll give this example both in English and Hindi because it is very important. So I'll use both the languages. Please pay attention everybody. Okay, please pay attention everybody. Okay, so here I go. See, pay attention guys. When we sit and study, okay, when we sit and study, pay attention everybody. Guys, when we sit and study, what happens is, you know, we are fresh at the beginning. We are fresh at the very beginning. We are fresh at the very beginning. Correct? So my dear friends, let's say in the first hour of the fact that we have started studying, you were able to study 5 pages. Now your efficiency is improving. In 2 hours total, you have been able to study 13 pages. In total 2 hours. But beyond 2 hours, you have started feeling a little exhausted, let's say. So you are studying right now also, but now in total 3 hours, you have been able to study 15 pages. In total 4 hours, you have been able to study 16 pages only. So guys, what additional number of pages that you are studying is, you see, first you increased by 5, then it increased by 8 additional pages you studied. Then you studied only 2 additional pages, followed by you started studying only 1 additional page. Followed by you started studying only 1 additional page. Sir, what are you trying to tell us? Sir, what are you trying to tell us, sir? Sir, what are you trying to tell us, sir? What I am trying to tell you is, friends, pay attention. Friends, pay attention. The number of additional pages that we are studying, first was increasing because our efficiency was increasing. Gradually, it started reducing. Yes, we are studying some additional pages now also, but see, only 1 additional page or 2 additional page. But suppose beyond 5 hours I ask you to study, beyond 4 hours, you will find out, I'm just giving an example, that in the 5th hour if you start studying, now you remember only 14 pages. So 2 pages you have forgotten. Rather than studying positive number of pages, you have forgotten the pages that you had already learned. Pay attention everybody. Now I'll give the same example in Hindi. Sir, what are you trying to say? It will be clear. Pay attention. I'll say the same example in Hindi once more. मान लीजिए आप लोग पढ़ने बैठे, शुरुआत में आप लोग फ्रेश थे तो आप पहले घंटे में 5 पेज पढ़ लिए. अब आपका एफिशिएंसी बढ़ते गया तो अब आप 2 घंटे में कुल मिलाकर 13 पेजेस पढ़ लिए. 3 घंटे में आप कुल मिलाकर 15 पेजेस पढ़ लिए और 4 घंटे में आप 16 पेजेस पढ़ लिए. अब आप देखो, आपने पहले घंटे में 5 पेज पढ़े, दूसरे घंटे में एडिशनल 8 पेज पढ़े. टोटल तो 13 पेजेस था, बट 5 से 13 मतलब आपने एडिशनल 8 पेजेस पढ़ा. बट 2 घंटे की बियॉन्ड आपने एडिशनल सिर्फ 2 पेजेस पढ़ा. उसके बियॉन्ड तो आपने सिर्फ 1 पेज एडिशनल पढ़ा. और 4 घंटे के आगे आप जब पढ़ना शुरू करते हो तो आप भूलना शुरू कर देते हो. बियॉन्ड 4 hours you are starting to forget. Rather than positive learning, it is resulting in negative learning. Guys, is this much clear? Yes or no? Guys, is this much clear? Yes or no? Yes or no? Sir, what you are trying to say, I'll tell later on. इतना clear है क्या? Yes or no everybody? Is this example clear or not? Yes or no everybody? Yes sir, it indeed is. Yes sir, it indeed is. So now my dear friends, here I tell you something. This is what, this is what, this is what. Yes, like marginal utility, correct Viresh. Yes. So my dear friends, this is what law of variable proportion talks about. What does it say? That you have a fixed quantity of land because it is short run, and variable quantity of labor, it's a variable factor. So initially what you see is when you apply variable factor to land, production increased by 10 units. When you increased one more labor, total production was 30, that is it increased by 20 units. But beyond this, when you applied third labor, production increased by 15 units only. Beyond this, it increased by 7 units only. Beyond this, when you increased, production did not increase at all. And if you were trying to put more labor into the machine gets disturbed, and instead of positive production from 52 you have fallen to 48, negative production has started because too many cooks spoil the broth. Oh, yes. This is what I am telling you. This is what I am telling you. These are the three stages of law of variable proportion. This is what law of variable proportion says. Law of variable proportion says, I'll give you two definitions, one in English and the other in Hindi. Pay attention everybody, keeping in mind the example that I have given. Law of variable proportion says that if to a given quantity of fixed factor, you apply more and more units of a variable factor. If to a given quantity of fixed factor, you apply more and more units of a variable factor, the total product first increases at increasing rate. As you see here, it is increasing by 10 and 20. Then it increases at a diminishing rate. From 20, it is increasing by 15, 7 only. And eventually starts falling. Now it has become negative. Sir, once more in English. When to a given quantity of fixed factor, you are applying more and more units of a variable factor, the total production increases at an increasing rate first, then it increases at a diminishing rate, and then it starts falling. That's law of variable proportion. That's law of variable proportion. That's law of variable proportion. Number one. Number two, in हिंदी लॉ ऑफ वेरिएबल प्रोपोर्शन हमें बोलता है कि आपके पास जो फिक्स फैक्टर है, मान लीजिए मशीन या कोई लैंड जमीन, उस पर आप लेबर यानी कि वेरिएबल फैक्टर को जब आप एम्प्लॉय करते हो ना शुरू में, तो शुरुआत में क्या होता है कि मशीन अंडर यूटिलाइज रहता है. तो जब आप लेबर लगाते हो तो प्रोडक्शन तेजी से जोश में बढ़ता है. बट एक लेवल के बियॉन्ड जब आप और लेबर लगा रहे होते हो तो प्रोडक्शन जोश में बढ़ने की जगह हौले हौले बढ़ता है. और एक मोमेंट के बाद जब आप और लेबर उसमें लगाओगे तो प्रोडक्शन उल्टा बढ़ने की जगह घटने लग जाता है, गिरने लग जाता है. केवल इसी बारे में मैं आपसे बात कर रहा था. My dear friends, this is the law of variable proportion. Is it crystal clear? Yes, no. Yes, no. Come on, friends. Yes, no. Is it clear, everybody? Come on, yeah. Yes, sir. It's indeed clear to us. Very, very good. The fact that it's clear to you is a great news. The fact that it's clear to you is a great news. That's law of variable proportion. So as you can see, there are three stages to the law. Stage of increasing returns, where production is increasing josh mein. See, first it increased by 10, then it increased by 20. Now beyond this, production is increasing, but not josh mein. It's not by a greater quantity, but by a lesser quantity. Hole hole. You see, 15, 7, 0. That's called the stage of diminishing returns to a factor. And if you try to do something beyond it, my dear friends, instead of the production, total production rising, the total productivity is falling. And that's negative returns to a factor. And that's negative returns to a factor. And that's negative returns to a factor. Yes, sir. Please remember, here the word diminishing has to be used, decreasing, not decreasing. The word has to be diminishing. The word has to be diminishing. And now let's discuss the graphs, my lovely friends. Here is the graph. You know, first you see total product, okay, TP. Pay attention, everybody. See, it is increasing like increasing rate. This is called increasing at increasing rate. Beyond this, it increases at a diminishing rate. And beyond this, it starts falling. The three stages. The three stages. My dear friends, one important MCQ question. Pay attention. One important MCQ question. What is the point between increasing at increasing rate and increasing at decreasing rate called? It's called the point of inflection. So when total product shifts from increasing rate to increasing at a diminishing rate, when total product shifts from increasing at increasing rate to increasing at a diminishing rate, that point of shifting is, my dear friends, what is called as point of inflection. That is called the point of inflection. That is called the point of inflection. That is called the point of inflection. Okay, so my dear friends, let me ask you one MCQ question before I can discuss anything further. How many stages are there in the law of variable proportion? Option A 1, option B 2, option C 3, option D 4. How many stages are there in the law of variable proportion? Come on everybody, come on everybody. Come on everybody, how many phases are there? How many phases are there? Okay, 3 points, 3 stages. Very good, very good, very good. Okay, so guys, another question. In which stage does production increase at increasing rate? In which stage or phase does production increase at increasing rate? Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, D, none of the above. Which stage does production increase at increasing rate? जोर जोर से किस स्टेज में इंक्रीज हो रहा होता है प्रोडक्शन? जोर जोर से प्रोडक्शन किस स्टेज में इंक्रीज हो रहा होता है? कम ऑन एवरीबॉडी, जोर जोर से. Production increases at increasing state at which stage? Increasing rate. Yes, you are absolutely correct, friends. You all are absolutely correct, friends. Very good. So the fact that you all have answered, stage 1 is correct. Another question. What is the point between stage 1 and stage 2 called? What is the point between stage 1 and stage 2 called? Come on everybody. What is the point between stage 1 and stage 2 called? Come on everybody. What is the point between stage 1 and stage 2 called? Correct. Yes. It indeed is the point of inflection. It indeed is the point of inflection. You all are absolutely bang on correct. It indeed is the point of inflection that you're talking about. You all are absolutely correct. You all are absolutely correct. Fantastic. Okay. Great. So pay attention everybody. Now, so there are 3 stages that I have already told you. Stage of increasing returns, stage of diminishing returns, stage of negative returns, where TP falls. Okay. Sir, what happens to marginal product? Here too you are seeing total product, right? Sir, what happens to marginal product? You see, when TP is increasing at increasing rate, marginal product is rising. At the point of inflection, that is the point from which TP will change from increasing at increasing rate to increasing at diminishing rate. MP will be its maximum. You see here, here TP is changing from increasing at increasing rate to increasing at diminishing state. So at this point, that is at the point of inflection, MP is maximum. This is the point of inflection. How do you identify the point of inflection, sir? If the chart is given, point of inflection is the point at which MP is maximum, marginal product is maximum. The point at which marginal product is maximum. The point at which marginal product is maximum. At how will you identify the point of inflection? The point at which marginal product is maximum. And guess what? When total product is maximum, marginal product is 0. When total product is maximum, marginal product is 0. And beyond this, guys, when total product has started falling, MP has become negative. MP has become negative. MP has become negative. When total product has started falling, MP has become negative. MP has become negative. Okay, is that so, sir? Yes, that is so, friends. So now, the fact that you have understood this, please pay attention. What is happening is phase 1. TP is increasing at increasing rate and MP is also increasing. As you can see, TP is increasing at increasing rate and MP is also rising. Phase 2. TP increases at diminishing rate, as you can clearly see. but MP is falling at this stage. Phase 3, TP falls, MP becomes negative. Remember, when TP is max, MP is 0. So an MCQ question for you all. When total product is maximum, marginal product is equals to A, 1, B, 0, C, 2, D, 3. Come on everybody, your answer please to this MCQ question. Yes, Mohammad Barkatullah, you are correct. Very good, very good. So yes, you all are absolutely correct. When TP is maximum, marginal product is 0. When TP is maximum, marginal product is 0. When TP is maximum, marginal product is 0. Very good. Absolutely correct. Okay. Another question then. Let's see whether you are able to answer that question or not. MP is maximum at break-even point, point of inflection, C, both, D, none. A, break-even point, B, point of inflection, C, both, D, none. What do you think is the correct answer, guys? Where is MP maximum? Where is MP maximum? Come on, everybody, answers in your chat, please. Answer in your chat, please. Answer in your chat, please. Come on, everybody. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Point of inflection, point of inflection, point of inflection. Absolutely correct. Great job, everybody. Great job, everybody. Okay, one more question. Let's see. You people are very intelligent. What can I ask you? Let's see. Next question. When TP falls, when TP falls, when TP falls, MP is positive, B 0, C negative, D none. When TP falls, what happens to MP? MP becomes what? Positive, 0 or negative? What say everybody? What say everybody? Come on, yaar. Need to see your answers. Yes, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. MP becomes negative when TP falls. You see here, when total productivity was falling, MP became negative. And guys, it's very easy, you know, what is TP MP? If any of you ask, it's a very, you know, basic question to ask, you know, at your level, you know, total TP, total product produced, total quantity produced. MP is when you employ one additional labor, what is the change in TP? For example, you employ another, from one you have employed another variable factor labor. So the total product has changed from 10 to 30. So dear friend, how much increased? 20. So that's called marginal product. Again, you employed one more. So TP changed from 30 to 45. So because of one variable factor, total product changed by how much? By 15. एक वेरिएबल फैक्टर, एक लेबर की वजह से टोटल प्रोडक्शन जितने क्वांटिटी से बदले उसे मार्जिनल प्रोडक्ट कहते हैं. दैट्स कॉल्ड मार्जिनल प्रोडक्ट. एंड हियर यू हैव इट. एंड हियर यू हैव इट. Yes, my dear friends, Turk Pathan, I am getting your answer. Absolutely. Yes. So now friends, a very important MCQ question that examiner asks you. Very, very important question. Very, very important MCQ question. So see, under which stage would a rational producer operate? Option A, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, D, none of the above. Please remember the answer is stage 2. You will ask me why. See, stage 3 is the stage of negative returns. In the stage of negative returns, total product starts falling. You will not want your total production to fall, and therefore not stage 3. A producer will not want to be in stage 3. A very bad place to be in. A very bad place to be in. Stage 1, then why not stage 1, sir? Array, because even in stage 2, total production is still rising. If you stop in stage 1, you will not be able to take advantage of constantly rising production. Yes, you see here in stage 1 production is rising. Arey Baba, but in stage 2 also production is increasing na. Just because it is increasing slowly doesn't mean that you will reject it. There is still scope for further production. There is still scope for further production. The fact, my lovely friends, there is still scope for further production. So why would you want to stop before that? Why would you want to stop before that? You won't. You will definitely not want to stop before that. And hence, my dear friends, your question is answered. Yes, sir. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is that stage 2 is where a rational producer would like to operate. So guys, another question. Which stage would a rational producer like to operate? Come on, everybody. Which stage would a rational producer like to operate? Come on, everybody. Under which stage would a rational producer like to operate? Come on, everybody. Under which stage would a rational producer like to operate? Which stage is it? Yes, absolutely correct. It's stage 2. It's stage 2. It's stage 2. Correct. Correct answer. Another MCQ question is waiting. Suppose, my dear friends, it's a numerical based MCQ. So let's see how many of you are able to answer this. Let's see. So my dear friends, this was variable factor. 1 unit of labor, 2 unit of labor, 3 unit of labor. Okay. So total production was 10 units. Then it changed to 18 units. Then it changed to 30 units. My question to you is total productivity. Question number A, 2 questions. Let's see how many of you scored 2 out of 2. It is the last question, so everybody need to wake up. Come on, everyone. It is the last question for the day. Pay attention, everyone. So part A. What is the marginal product of unit 1? Option B. Question number B actually. What is the marginal product of labor 2? What is the marginal product of labor 3? Come on, everybody. I need your answers right away. Right away. Come on, everybody. Answer it. Come on, everybody. Answer it. Okay. Very good. So let's see. Yes, at the first level, my dear friends, at the variable factor 1, total product and marginal product are equal. So TP is equals to MP for the first product, for the first labor. On increasing variable factor to 2, TP increased by 8. So 8. And beyond this, when you increase it by further 1, it increased by 12. So the answer here is 10, 8, 12. The answer here is 10, 8, 12 because you see it has increased by 8, then by 12. By how much it has changed? That is MP. So 10, 8 and 12. So how many of you got 3 out of 3 in this one? Come on, everybody. Today we have solved around 20 MCQs, I think. Come on, everybody. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So yes, very good. A lot of you have scored 3 out of 3. And so yes, you are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct. So my dear friends, today we rest our discussion here. Next day, we will talk some more about variable factor and eventually we'll move on to law of returns to scale as well. We'll move on to law of returns to scale as well. So my dear friends, that's brilliant for the day. Goodbye everyone. Thank you very much. Tata.